I was the girl they pitied, now they study me. I used to hate that look. You know the one. The tilted head, the soft voice, the fake smile that says, "Shame, she's trying." I was the girl they pitied. The girl with the second-hand shoes. The girl who always said, "I'm fine," even when I wasn't. The girl who sat at the back of the room so nobody would notice how lost I felt. In high school, people didn't bully me loudly. It was quieter than that. It was whispers. Her family's struggling. She'll probably get married early. She's not leadership material. She's sweet, but not strong. Sweet. That word used to feel like a prison. I remember one specific day. We were in class, and the teacher asked who wanted to present their project in front of everyone. My hand twitched. I wanted to raise it. But before I could, a girl in front of me turned slightly and said, not even in a whisper, "Don't worry, you don't have to embarrass yourself." The class laughed softly. I laughed too. That was my thing back then. I laughed at my own humiliation so it wouldn't hurt as much. I went home that day and stared at myself in the mirror. I didn't see potential. I saw smallness. And what hurt the most wasn't that people looked down on me. It was that I agreed with them. After school, life didn't magically get better. I didn't have money for fancy courses. I didn't have connections. I didn't have confidence. I had doubt and a quiet anger. Not loud anger, not revenge anger. The kind that sits in your chest and whispers, "This is not how your story ends." I started changing in secret. That's the part nobody talks about. Glow-ups aren't always dramatic. Sometimes they're lonely. I woke up earlier than everyone else. I watched free videos. I practiced speaking out loud in my room. I read books from the public library. I worked small jobs and saved like my life depended on it. Because in a way, it did. While people were posting parties and vacations, I was studying communication, money, confidence, discipline. No one clapped for that. No one even noticed. For 2 years, I was invisible, but I was building. The first shift happened at a small networking event. I almost didn't go. I stood outside the building for 10 minutes, telling myself I didn't belong in rooms like that. But then I heard that old voice in my head. "You don't have to embarrass yourself." And something inside me snapped. Not loudly, just enough. I walked in. I didn't know anyone. My hands were shaking, but when I started talking, something strange happened. I wasn't trying to impress. I wasn't trying to shrink. I just spoke. And people listened. Actually listened. One woman came up to me afterward and said, "You explain things so clearly. Have you ever thought of leading workshops?" Leading? Me? The girl they pitied? That night, I cried in my car. Not because I was sad, but because for the first time someone saw me differently. And slowly, I started seeing myself differently too. Fast forward 3 years. I had built a small online platform teaching young women how to build confidence and financial independence. Nothing huge at first, just honest, raw, real. I talked about fear, about self-doubt, about growing up underestimated. My videos started gaining traction. People related. Because here's the truth nobody says out loud. A lot of quiet girls aren't weak. They're observing. They're absorbing. They're preparing. One day, I was invited back to my old high school to speak at a career day. When I walked into that building, it felt surreal. Same hallways, same classrooms, different me. And then I saw them. The girls who used to tilt their heads at me, the ones who used to speak for me, they were standing near the entrance. And this time, they weren't whispering, they were watching. Not with pity, with curiosity. One of them came up to me and said, "Wow, you've really changed. How did you become so confident?" I smiled. Because confidence didn't arrive overnight. It was built in silence, brick by brick, in rooms where nobody believed in me, including myself. I went on stage that day and looked at a room full of girls who reminded me of younger me, nervous, unsure, quiet, and I told them the truth. I used to sit at the back of this hall and hope nobody would call on me. They laughed softly. I thought being underestimated was a curse. Pause. But it was a gift. You see, when nobody expects much from you, you have space to build without pressure. When people pity you, they stop competing with you. They don't see you coming. That's power if you use it correctly. Now, the same people who once pitied me send me messages asking for advice. They watch my interviews. They take notes during my workshops. They quote my words online. I was the girl they pitied. Now they study me. But here's the part that matters most. I didn't glow up to prove them wrong. I grew because I was tired of agreeing with them. The real transformation wasn't money. It wasn't followers. It wasn't applause. It was the moment I stopped shrinking to make other people comfortable. The moment I stopped laughing at disrespect. The moment I realized being underestimated is a hidden advantage. If you're watching this right now and people look at you with that soft pity, if they think you're too quiet, too soft, too ordinary, let them. Use the silence. Build in private. Learn in secret. Grow roots so deep that when you finally rise, nobody can shake you. One day, the same people who felt sorry for you will sit in a room and take notes while you speak. And when that day comes, smile. Not with arrogance, but with gratitude. Because the girl they pitied, she saved your life. If this story felt personal to you, if you've ever been underestimated, please like and subscribe. And tell me in the comments, were you ever the one they pitied? Because trust me, your story is not finished yet.